My name is Mark Tufano, and I'm the commander of the American Legion, Hooksore American Legion Post 235. And I want to thank you all for being here in this remembrance and commemorative ceremony. We have these about once every month. This is, I think, the 6th or 7th one we have. We have almost 200 commemorative bricks in this area right now. And it's just an incredible opportunity for us to remember those that have served and those that are serving, and those that are living and those that have gone. So I want to take this moment, if we could have just a prayer, and then we'll pledge allegiance to the flag for those in uniform on cover. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this opportunity to be here to remember those that have fallen and those that are living, and those that are serving and those that have served. This is an incredible opportunity for us to remember them and to show our love and respect and honor for them. I want you to put your loving arms and your kindness around each of these speakers as they speak of their loved ones, and lift them up and give them the strength and peace that comes with expressing that love. Thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day and the day you have made. And I pray all these things in your mighty, glorious name. Amen. Recover. Now the process is that I come over here to the brick area, and I sort of close my eyes and point and pick a brick, and then that person that represents the name on the brick, either the person themselves or the one that's remembering them, will come up. And if you feel comfortable to do this, what we'd like to do and what we normally do is that person holds the brick with the name facing out and then says something about that particular person, and then actually walks over into the commemorative brick area and places the brick in the spot that they would like to have placed. So since I have a brick in my hand right now, let's just start right here. Oops. How about that? That's the one I want to talk about. Vanessa Simpson. Here, come right over this way. Here you are. Thanks, Lonnie.
You know, I prayed to God for a wife, and he found Vanessa for me. And we made a commitment. We said, let's both do 20 years in the military, and when we finish, no one will ever have to work again. And when she got to 21 years in the military, she raised her hand and said, remember our deal. And so I thank God for my wife, and I want to recognize her service. I'll tell you a story that someone asked, a young lady at church asked what she did in the military, and I said she was a sniper. And they said, I knew it! Sister Nail. But I want to honor her for our children and our grandchildren, so they'll always remember what we've done and the contributions we've made.
Wendell Mills. Hello, Wendell. Here, if you just hold this close to your mouth.
Yeah, I'm Wendell's father. And he asked me when he got out of the military, he said, Daddy, what should I do? Should I go back in, or should I just stay out? I told him, I said, son, make up your mind. Make up your own mind. And you can do whatever you want to do. I said, now, if I tell you to go, something might necessarily happen, and he would probably say, well, Daddy told me to go. So I told him to go ahead and make up your mind, and you will to do what you want to do.
Thank you, Wendell. And you can place it anywhere you'd like. And what's your name? James? Nice to meet you, James. Yes. Very good. Thank you. Nebraska Massey. I'm doing well. How about you? Just hold this close to your mouth for me.
My name is Nebraska Massey. I would like to say that it has been my joy to serve my country in the United States Navy. When I first went in, I was a wild young kid. When I come out, I was a man, still wild. But I want to thank my wife and my family for my support, and my church, Mount Moriah.
Thank you, Nebraska. It's a great name, by the way. You can place it anywhere you'd like. All right, now are you a member of our post?
I guess so.
All right. Claude Stinson.
Daddy. Every time I saw an airplane go up in the sky, I always thought it was my dad. He was a master crew chief on B-52s and B-29s, and we spent about 7 years in Columbus, Ohio, at an Air Force base called Lockbourne Air Force Base. And the B-52 bombers and the B-29s were so huge, and to watch them fly in the sky, but every time I'd be playing in the yard, when one went above my head, I said, Dad's working. And so I thank Dad for all that he did, his contributions, and taking us all around the world so that we could be well-rounded and just have a good appreciation for the blessings that God gives us. And so for my father, Claude A. Stinson.
Now, is your father still with us? Okay. Do you have more than just those two? One more? Well, we'll make sure we find a spot to put them all together. And you a member of our post? Might as well get you, Lonnie. Get you back up here again.
You never know what you're going to do in life. I went to college in UNC Charlotte and got tired of eating Underwood deviled ham sandwiches and saw an ad in the paper in the Jet magazine that said, earn $344.10, join the U.S. Army. So this Air Force brat joined the U.S. Army and joined it just to finish college, but then after finishing college decided it's not so bad after all. And 10 years turned into 20, 20 years turned into 30. And I just thank God for allowing me to be there, to do what we did, and we just thank God for just helping us. You know, had it not been for the military to help me get straightened out, you know, I just really thank God for that. So to make the triangle complete, add myself to my father and my wife.
Nice. Thank you. Now, I just want to know something. Did your Air Force dad speak to you for a number of years after you joined the Army?
We joke quite a bit. In fact, Pope Air Force Base is now called Fort Bragg Army Airfield, and that was our last joke.
Well, I just want to say something that Lonnie and another gentleman just before him said. Uh, I was I was confused when I was 16, 17, 18 years old. And the Air Force and the Army, I mean, the military in general, just was an extraordinary experience for me. It taught me discipline. It taught me respect for authority. It gave me a whole career, sent me to college, helped me buy my first home. And it was, you know, that back in the Romans days, they used to, when the soldiers came home, they used to give them a piece of land and give them a stipend, and it really honored them and take care of them for the rest of their lives. Although we don't do exactly that, we come pretty darn close. And I just want to thank our government for doing what they do for veterans. They could do a lot more, but what they're doing, I think, is extraordinary. Thank you. Thank you, Lonnie. Reverend Diaz.
Thank you very much. I would like to first of all give God all the glory and all the honor for what he's done in my life, because going into the military was not my idea. I thought I would, I got out of high school, I was 18 years old, and I thought I was enough for this world. I thought I could do what I could do, and I got a job. I wasn't going to stay at home with my parents, but I got a job. But my mother and my father said, you could do better than that. So my mom took me out to the recruiters, and I thought I was going to go in the Army, and maybe the Marines. But when I looked at the Air Force and saw what they had to offer, I decided to go in and make it for 4 years and then get on out. Well, after my 4 years of active duty, I actually did get out. But once I got out and got back home, I said, life wasn't that great back at home. I didn't find it the way I thought it would be. So I found out they were still checking in on me. They wanted to know where I lived and whether I was keeping up my health and everything. And I said, why are you asking me that question? And the person on the phone said, well, you're actually still in the Air Force. You just did 4 years. You got 2 more years in reserves. I said, so I'm in the reserves, but I'm not making any money? And he said, yes, you are. He said, if there's a war, you're going to get called. So I said, well, where do I go to make some money? Well, I said all that to say, I joined the Air Force Reserves, and altogether, I did 41 years. I worked mostly with the 459th up at Andrews Air Force Base in a medical squadron. And that was one of the best things that I've ever done, was join the reserves. I thought it was going to be a lot of relaxation time. Get there and watch football games and that type of thing, and I found out the reserves was totally different. That everything that the Air Force had to do in 30 days, we had a weekend to take care of. And I found myself being put in charge and supervisor positions and that type of thing. And long story short, I ended up being there, like I said, for 41 years and enjoyed every minute of it. They had to throw me out. Once I turned 60 years old, they said, you got to go. All right. Thank you very much.
I was in during the Vietnam era, and when I got out, they said, "Now we're gonna constantly be trying to get you back in, and re-up you even after you leave." And so I said, "Well, how long will that last?" And they said, "Well, up until the day you die, and we're working on remedying that." So, yeah, if I had the opportunity, I would have stayed in the reserves as well. Yeah, it was a good opportunity that you did. All right. Is there a Don Hedden Anyone for Don Hidden? Now, is this you, Don, or is it your brother?
I was in the military too. Thank you. I got this brick for my brother Don. I was in the military too. I was in the Army, and I got it for him because he's no longer with us. One of the things, but he went in the military. He went in the Army, and he served his time in Vietnam era. And when he came out, he didn't talk about it, but I knew he had had some bad experience in the military. And so he was looking for a job. I said, well, Don, just don't take any job. Get you a job that you can enjoy. It's something that's going to benefit you and it's going to make you feel good about what you're doing. And so he joined the state trooper, and he served there until he died. He died an early death. He died he was 40 years, or 39 years. He's almost 40. But he served the military, he served in state trooper, and he was very happy to be a part of the Army as well as the state troopers. And I thank you for the opportunity to be able to recognize him and leave this brick in his behalf. I'll probably get a brick for myself the next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. James Smith. You got your own fan club here, don't you? Now, is this you or a relative?
This is me, James Smith, U.S. Navy, 1955 to 1980. Left home at a young age, just got out of high school, joined the Navy, left a little small town over in South Carolina, never went back. Excuse me, I did go back. I went back to pick up my wife. I went back to get her, and she hung out with me for over 25 years in the U.S. Navy, taking care of small children. And I just forgot to say that many, many veterans, that they go overseas and everything, the wives have to take care of the kids. So she was a mother and a father while I was out there during the Vietnam War. And I got to say, I was on aircraft carriers. And let me tell you, we come home after a 9-month cruise in the Far East, stay home 3 months, start a workup, and in the 5th month, we went back again for another 9 months. It was an adventure, but I want to say that the Navy was an adventure, and I enjoyed it. And I just want to say to each and every one, especially Pastor over there, when I came here from San Diego, I came from a Mount Moriah church, and I ended up at a Mount Moriah church. But I just want to say that my Air Force friends sitting out there, the Army friends out there, thank you for your support. And I just want to say thank you.
Very good. Yeah, I didn't see my dad until I was 4 years old. He was in World War II. So obviously, my mother got pregnant when he came home on leave, and I didn't see him until he came back. He was in the maritime services himself. I think I know this guy, Fred Baylor. Oh, and by the way, he is a member of our post.
Thank you, Mark. It's an honor to stand before all of you on this special day. You know, I come from a military family. My dad was in World War II. All my uncles were in Korea. And I remember when my dad came home from World War II in 1946. Kanky got home in February, and I came along in October. I said, well, Dad, you just hardly got in the door. You know, He just said, I just missed your mama. But, military has been in my life for years. Once I graduated from college, I wanted to see the world, and this was in 1968. And my first assignment out of tech school was a remote island in Alaska. And I asked myself, what have I done? Shemia, the rock, out on the tip of the Aleutian chain, well, Adak's not that far. On a clear day, you could see the coast of Russia. And then I came back to the States and spent most of that time in Texas, out in the Midwest. Then we went to the Philippines. Had quite a few trips. I got out on active duty in '72. And like Reverend Diaz said, 2 years, you're still in the reserve. And then I went back. I said, the civilian life is just not for me, And I joined in '75 on active duty again. And I was selected to go to the Academy of Military Science in '76 to become an officer. And from then on, it was just, different jobs, different commanding positions. And I was always in a fighter unit. We were always on alert. I remember 911, we had to camp out on the runway. We were flying F-16s at the time. And, when the first plane hit, we were out of there. We were in Oval, D.C. and Jersey doing combat turns in about 15 minutes. I get choked up right now when I talk about it. But overall, I had a beautiful time in the service, and, it's just, I thank all of you guys for your service, and I'd do it all over again. And I'm also a member, Mark.
Anywhere you'd like. By the way, that brick says 34 years of service on it. Now, like you, I was stationed up in Duluth, Minnesota, and a lot of people don't realize this, but just a couple of miles away is International Falls, which is the coldest city in the United States, including any city in Alaska, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. That Arctic air comes right down through the center. So I was right there. And the saying up there was 11 months of winter and 1 month of rotten skiing. So that was, and again, I wondered, what the heck did I do wrong? All right, Peter Christ.
This is my son. He spent 4 in the Marines, and when we picked him up at the beginning of his service, he comes out and he tells me, Dad, I was in the Navy back in the late 60s, early 70s. He says, Dad, no Navy man was really in the military because you wear those upside down dog dishes on your head. But anyway, he spent 4 in the Marine Corps, got out with a story a lot like a lot of you guys, didn't like civilian life exactly, went back in and spent 16 in the Army, and he's been out for almost 5 years, and I just want to honor him. He honored me. I have a brick here, and my family honored me a few months ago, and so we're honoring him today. And this is a great, great thing you guys are doing here. Guys like me came back from overseas. We didn't know what kind of a stupid country we were in because everybody hated us. And I'm glad that the military is being taken care of so much better than ever before because of just the need for it. Anyway, thank you. Congratulations to my son, and I appreciate all of the work you guys have all done in doing this memorial for us.
George Latham.
George G. Latham Sr. Daddy was in the U.S. Army. And he was also in the Korean War, also World War II. But I would like to pay tribute to my father. It's 4 siblings of us, and I can remember when I was in high school that Dad was serving this service at this time, that he made sure that the family was taken care of. And I can remember the sacrifices that he made. Seemed like every time he went to war, left left my mom, she was pregnant. And so we are all, my sister, my brother, and I have myself, we are all 1 year apart. So we laughed about that all the time. But I remember the good times with my father when I could see him in his uniform get ready to leave the house. And at this time, I would like to salute George G. Latham Sr. I also would like to thank Mark for this opportunity to have this service here today, honor the veterans. Thank you so much.
There's one left, and I'm going to say something about this gentleman. What you see in front of you here today wasn't always this way. The commander before me, his name was Phil Mowry, and he has now moved to Florida, and he gave me the opportunity to be the commander of the post after he left. But when he started, there was only 3 or 4 people meeting in Jonathan's restaurant in the back room. There wasn't any organization, any structure. This was only about 4 years ago. Now, Larry, during one of the sessions, you said, it's always good when somebody makes things better. And we always have to strive to make things better, not only for ourselves, but for others. And that's what I've been trying to do in honor of Phil Mowry, who was the commander before we came. And let me tell you what's been accomplished since Phil has left. First of all, everything that you see here was just simply a patch of dirt. It all started on Memorial Day about 1.5 years ago when we tried to lower that flag in order to honor the fallen veterans, but we couldn't because it was tattered and torn and it was in the leaves, the limbs of the tree. Something had to be done. And because of that is when the military and veteran community, and you included, helped all of us in contributions. By the way, everything you see here, everything was donated either by funds or by Home Depot, Lowe's, Site One, Carolina Brick. Everything, all the materials here were free, and all the labor was put in loving memory of those people that they wanted to honor. This is the first Veterans Memorial that this town has had in its 142-year history, and a lot of that is due to this man sitting right here. Larry, thank you so much for your contribution. Larry was a very vocal advocate for this during the run-up to the vote, and I'll never forget it. Thank you very much. There's much more to do, and we will turn this into what is already a lovely spot into an absolutely magnificent memorial for all our veterans. So having said that, I would like to close this ceremony by having all of the veterans come up front here with me. Would you do so? I'd like to say just a few words, and then we're going to turn and salute the flag, and while we're saluting the flag, taps will play, and that will be the end of the ceremony. First of all, I can't tell you how honored I am to be standing here with all these people. I'm kind of an emotional Italian, so I get kind of choked up when I think about men and women and how they gave their time, their love for our country. Some of them obviously are not here to be with us today because of the sacrifice that they made. And I just want to say thank you. Thank all of you for every moment that you spent in honoring and serving our country. It is just an honor to be here with you. And now if we will turn and salute. Thank you all. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you very much for coming.